When Netflix released its live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender in 2024, the world held its breath. 4 years, fans had waited to see if anyone could capture the magic of the beloved animated series. The first season brought us back to a world divided by war, a world where hope seemed lost, and a world desperately waiting for its savior. But before we dive into what Season 2 has in store, let's take a moment to revisit the incredible journey that brought us here. The story begins with a boy trapped in ice for 100 years. Aang, the last surviving airbender and the Avatar, awakens to a world he no longer recognizes. The air nomads have been wiped out. The Fire Nation has waged war on the other nations for an entire century. And somehow this 12-year-old boy is supposed to be the one to restore balance to the world. It's a burden that would crush most people, but Aang is different. Despite the weight of his destiny, he maintains his playful spirit and his unwavering hope. Gordon Cormier brings this complex character to life with remarkable depth. He's not just learning to bend the elements. He's learning what it means to be a leader, a friend, and a symbol of hope for an entire world. In Season 1, we watched Aang discover that he's the last of his kind. We saw his heart break when he realized that everyone he ever knew is gone. His mentor, Monk Yatso, is dead. His people have been erased from history, and the world has moved on without him. But Aang doesn't face this journey alone. In the frozen waters of the South Pole, he meets Katara and Sokka, two siblings from the Southern Water Tribe who will become his closest companions. Katara, portrayed by Kaya Wensho, is a waterbender with immense potential but limited training. She's lost her mother to the Fire Nation, and that loss has shaped everything about who she is. She's protective, she's nurturing, and she's determined to make a difference in a world that has taken so much from her people. Sokka, played by Ian Owsley, might not be a bender, but he's far from powerless. He's a warrior, a strategist, and the comic relief the group desperately needs when things get dark. Throughout Season 1, we watched Sokka struggle with feeling inadequate compared to the benders around him. But time and again he proved that courage, intelligence, and heart matter just as much as any elemental power. His journey from an insecure young man trying to prove himself to a confident warrior was one of the season's most satisfying arcs. Together, this unlikely trio embarks on a journey across the war-torn world. Their mission is clear but seemingly impossible. Aang must master all 4 elements, water, earth, fire, and air, before he can face Fire Lord Ozai and end the 100-Year War. The first season focused on water, taking them to the Northern Water Tribe where Aang could find a proper waterbending master. But every step of their journey is shadowed by the Fire Nation's relentless pursuit. Prince Zuko, portrayed brilliantly by Dallas Liu, is desperate to capture the Avatar. His face bears a permanent scar, a brutal reminder of his father's cruelty. Banished from his homeland, stripped of his honor, Zuko believes that capturing the Avatar is the only way to reclaim his rightful place in the Fire Nation. His obsession drives him to the edge of madness, and yet we can't help but feel sympathy for this tormented prince. Accompanying Zuko is his uncle Iroh, played by Paul Sun-hyung Lee. Iroh is perhaps the heart and soul of the entire series. Once a great general who laid siege to the Earth Kingdom capital of Ba Sing Se, he's now a changed man. After losing his only son in that siege, Iroh abandoned his conquest and became a man of peace and wisdom. He sees the good in Zuko that Zuko himself cannot see. Throughout Season 1, Iroh tried desperately to guide his nephew toward redemption, even as Zuko pushed further down a dark path. The tension between duty and morality, between honor and what is right, defines Zuko's character. And Season 1 left us with a complicated picture of this young prince. He's capable of terrible things in his pursuit of the Avatar. But he's also capable of surprising acts of kindness. He saved a village from bandits. He spoke out against sacrificing innocent soldiers in a war meeting, which led to his banishment in the first place. Zuko is not simply a villain. He's a young man torn between the monster his father wants him to be and the hero his uncle believes he can become. The first season built toward a climactic battle at the Northern Water Tribe. The Fire Nation launched a massive invasion, led by the ruthless Admiral Zhao. In one of the season's most powerful moments, Zhao kills the Moon Spirit, throwing the natural world into chaos and stripping waterbenders of their power. But Aang, in a desperate act, merges with the Ocean Spirit and becomes a massive elemental force that drives back the Fire Nation fleet. It's a victory, but it comes at a cost. The balance of the world is more fragile than ever. And then, in the final moments of Season 1, we got our first real look at the true threat. Fire Lord Ozai, portrayed by Daniel Dae Kim, remains largely in shadow, but his presence is felt in every scene. He's the architect of this century-long war. He's the one who scarred his own son for speaking out of turn. And he's just beginning to reveal his ultimate plan for the world. Even more terrifying is Princess Azula, played by Elizabeth Yu. Zuko's younger sister is everything he is not. She's a fire-bending prodigy, cold, calculating, and utterly loyal to their father. Her blue flames burn hotter than normal fire, a visual representation of just how dangerous she truly is. Season 1 ended with Aang, Katara, and Sokka achieving a bittersweet victory. They saved the Northern Water Tribe, but the war is far from over. Aang has barely scratched the surface of waterbending, and he still needs to master earth and fire. The Fire Nation is more determined than ever. And Zuko and Iroh have been branded as traitors, now hunted by their own nation. The stage is set for something even bigger. Something that will test our heroes in ways they've never been tested before. And that brings us to Season 2, arriving on Netflix in 2026. The first teaser trailer dropped recently, and fans around the world lost their minds. Because finally, after months of waiting, we got our first look at one of the most beloved characters in Avatar history. Toph Beifong is here, and she's everything we hoped she would be. Mia Chek steps into the role of Toph, the blind earthbending master who will become Aang's teacher. In the animated series, Toph was a fan-favorite character, and it's easy to see why. She's tough, she's sarcastic, she doesn't take anyone's nonsense, and she's arguably the most powerful earthbender in the world. Born into a wealthy family, Toph was sheltered and underestimated her entire life because of her blindness. But what her parents didn't know was that Toph learned earthbending from the original masters, the badger moles who live in underground caves. She developed a unique ability to sense vibrations in the earth, allowing her to see the world in ways that sighted people never could. The teaser gives us a glimpse of Toph's power. We see her standing firm as the earth itself seems to obey her command. We see her joining Aang, Katara, and Sokka on their journey. And we know that her addition to Team Avatar is going to change everything. Because Aang needs to learn earthbending and Toph is going to be the one to teach him. But their personalities couldn't be more different. Aang is gentle, spiritual, and evasive. Earth is the opposite, solid, direct, and unyielding. Learning earthbending is going to force Aang to confront his own nature and grow in ways he never has before. But Toph is just the beginning of what Season 2 has in store. According to Netflix and the show's executive producers, Christine Boylan and Jabbar Raisani, this season will take our heroes deep into the Earth Kingdom. And their ultimate destination is Ba Sing Se, the great walled city that serves as the Earth Kingdom's capital. Ba Sing Se is legendary. It's called the Impenetrable City, protected by massive walls that even the Fire Nation couldn't breach during a 600-day siege. It's the last great stronghold against Fire Nation conquest. But Ba Sing Se holds dark secrets. The city is divided into rings based on social class. The wealthy live in luxury in the upper ring, while refugees and the poor struggle to survive in the lower ring. And ruling over it all is the Earth King, a figurehead who may not even know there's a war happening beyond his walls. The real power in Ba Sing Se belongs to the Dai Li, a secret police force that controls information and eliminates anyone who threatens the city's false peace. Their leader, Long Feng, will be portrayed by Chin Han. He's a man who believes that order must be maintained at any cost, even if it means lying to his own king about the war that's ravaging their kingdom. Aang, Katara, and Sokka will arrive in Ba Sing Se with a mission. They need to convince the Earth King to join their fight against the Fire Nation. But getting to the king won't be easy. The Dai Li don't want anyone disturbing Ba Sing Se's carefully maintained illusion of peace. And there are forces working in the shadows that our heroes don't even know about yet. Because while Aang and his friends are fighting to save the world, Azula is already several steps ahead. In the original animated series, Azula infiltrates Ba Sing Se by disguising herself and her companions as the Kyoshi warriors, an elite group of female fighters. Once inside the city, she begins a conspiracy that will shake the Earth Kingdom to its core. She manipulates Long Feng and the Dai Li. She turns the city's defenders into her own weapons. And she sets a trap that will force Zuko to make the most important choice of his life. Will he continue down the path of redemption that his uncle has been guiding him toward? Or will he betray everything to reclaim the honor and acceptance he's always craved? Speaking of Zuko, Season 2 is where his character arc truly becomes legendary. Throughout the season, Zuko and Iroh are fugitives, hiding in plain sight within the Earth Kingdom. They're no longer hunting the Avatar. They're just trying to survive. And for the first time in his life, Zuko is forced to live as a normal person. He and Iroh work in a tea shop in Ba Sing Se's lower ring. Iroh is in his element, making tea and finding joy in simple pleasures. But Zuko is miserable. He doesn't know who he is without his title, without his mission, without his burning need to prove himself to his father. This is where Zuko's internal struggle reaches its peak. He begins to see the world differently. He sees the suffering the Fire Nation has caused. He sees the refugees who have lost everything to the war his nation started. He begins to understand that honor isn't about blind obedience to a cruel father. It's about making the right choices even when they're difficult, even when they cost you everything you thought you wanted. But Azula knows her brother's weakness. She knows that deep down, Zuko still wants to go home. He still wants his father's love and approval, and she uses that against him. In what will likely be one of the most heartbreaking moments of Season 2, Azula offers Zuko everything he's ever wanted. She offers him redemption in the eyes of the Fire Nation. She offers him a chance to go home as a hero. All he has to do is betray Iroh. All he has to do is side with Azula against the Avatar. And in the animated series, Zuko makes the wrong choice. He sides with Azula. He helps her defeat Aang in a devastating battle beneath Ba Sing Se. It's a moment that shocked viewers because we had watched Zuko grow so much. We had seen him start to change. But in that crucial moment, his desire for his father's love outweighed everything else. He returned to the Fire Nation a hero, but at the cost of his soul. And that sets up his redemption arc in Season 3, which is widely considered one of the greatest character arcs in television history. The Netflix adaptation has the opportunity to deepen this story even further. The live-action format allows for more nuanced performances, for subtle moments of doubt and conflict that animation sometimes can't capture in quite the same way. Dallas Liu has already shown us a Zuko who is complex and sympathetic. Watching him make this terrible choice and then watching him realize his mistake and fight to correct it is going to be one of the most powerful elements of this season. But let's talk about the action, because Season 2 of Avatar is known for some of the most spectacular battles in the series. There's the drill episode, where Azula brings a massive Fire Nation war machine to breach Ba Sing Se's outer wall. Aang and his friends have to infiltrate the drill and destroy it from within. It's a race against time filled with incredible bending choreography and high stakes. Then there's the finale, the fall of Ba Sing Se. The animated series gave us an epic showdown in underground crystal caves beneath the city. Aang enters the Avatar state, the ultimate expression of the Avatar's power, only to be struck down by Azula's lightning. It's a moment of shocking defeat. The hero doesn't win. The city falls to the Fire Nation, and our protagonists barely escape with their lives. It's dark, it's tragic, and it sets up the desperate final season where the world's last hope seems to have been extinguished. The Netflix adaptation has already shown us that they're not afraid to embrace the darker elements of this story. Season 1 dealt with genocide, with war crimes, with the loss of innocence. Season 2 is going to push even further. It's going to show us the corruption at the heart of Ba Sing Se. It's going to show us good people making terrible choices. It's going to show us that sometimes the heroes lose. And that's what makes this story so powerful. It doesn't shy away from the cost of war. It doesn't pretend that hope is always enough. The production of Season 2 wrapped in May 2025, and it was filmed back-to-back with Season 3. That means we won't have to wait as long for the conclusion of this story. The cast and crew have been teasing what's coming, and they all seem incredibly excited. Christine Boylan and Jabbar Raisani, who took over as showrunners from Albert Kim, have promised that this season will challenge the characters with more complex and nuanced obstacles. They want to show the world growing more tactile and lived in. They want the story to mature just as the animated series matured from season to season. One of the most exciting aspects of Season 2 is the expansion of the cast. We're getting new characters who will play crucial roles in the story. Justin Chien will portray Earth King K, the naive young king who has been kept ignorant of the war. Amanda Zhou will play Ju Di, one of the Dai Li's agents who presents a false friendly face to visitors. Hoa Xuanda is Professor Zay, a scholar who will help Team Avatar navigate the secrets of the Earth Kingdom. And Crystal Yu will bring to life Lady Beifong, Toph's overprotective mother who has no idea just how powerful her daughter truly is. The visual effects in Season 1 were impressive, but Season 2 is going to push the boundaries even further. Earthbending is a completely different style of bending from water. It's powerful, direct, and requires massive physical effects. Watching Toph manipulate the earth, creating walls of stone, sensing enemies through vibrations, and showcasing her unique fighting style is going to be a visual spectacle. And that's not even mentioning Azula's blue fire, which burns hotter and brighter than anything we've seen before. The themes of Season 2 are also going to resonate with audiences. This season is about choice. It's about what happens when the easy path and the right path diverge. It's about systems of power that maintain order through lies and oppression. Ba Sing Se presents itself as a paradise, but it's built on the suffering of its lower classes and the ignorance of its rulers. The Dai Li believe they're protecting the city, but they're actually enabling its eventual fall. Zuko believes he's reclaiming his honor, but he's actually betraying everything honorable about himself. These aren't simple stories with simple answers. Avatar has always been remarkable for treating its audience with intelligence and respect. It doesn't talk down to viewers. It presents complex moral dilemmas and lets the audience grapple with them. Should Aang compromise his pacifist beliefs to stop the Fire Nation? Is Zuko's desire for his father's love understandable even when it leads him down a dark path? Can a system like Ba Sing Se ever truly be reformed, or does it need to be torn down entirely? These are the questions Season 2 will ask, and the answers won't always be comfortable. There's also the matter of Iroha's journey. In Season 2, Iroh goes from a fugitive to a prisoner to eventually becoming a legend. His wisdom, his kindness, and his unwavering faith in Zuko make him one of the most beloved characters in fiction. Paul Sun-Hyung Lee has already shown us an Iroh who is both funny and profound. Season 2 will give him moments to shine even brighter. And in the animated series, there's a particularly emotional episode called The Tales of Ba Sing Se, which includes Iroha's tribute to his late son. It's one of the most heartbreaking moments in the entire series, and if the live-action adaptation includes something similar, there won't be a dry eye in the audience. As we count down the days to 2026, the anticipation for Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 2 continues to build. The first season introduced us to this world, these characters, and this conflict. But Season 2 is where everything gets elevated. The stakes are higher. The characters are more developed. The moral complexity is deeper. And the action is going to be absolutely incredible. For fans of the animated series, this is a chance to see beloved moments brought to life in a new way. For newcomers, this is an opportunity to experience one of the greatest stories ever told without any prior knowledge required. The Netflix adaptation stands on its own while honoring everything that made the original so special. It's a delicate balance, but so far they've managed to walk that line beautifully. So get ready. In 2026, Aang will learn to earthbend from the greatest master alive. Team Avatar will infiltrate the legendary city of Ba Sing Se. Zuko will face his most important choice. Azula will prove why she's the most dangerous enemy they've faced. And the world will watch as the Earth Kingdom's greatest stronghold either stands firm or falls. This is Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 2. This is where everything changes. This is where heroes will be tested, where villains will be revealed, and where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any updates about Season 2 and all the exciting Avatar content coming your way. The journey continues and you won't want to miss a single moment.